Why did the Titanic, built in 1,200 days, sink in just 2 hours? April 10th, 1962, was the day the world's biggest and most expensive ship, the Titanic, was ready for its maiden voyage. The Atlantic Ocean was unusually calm that day, and there was no sign of a storm. The ship had already boarded 1,500 passengers, and thousands had gathered at the dock to witness Titanic's first journey. None of the passengers, the onlookers, or the ship's crew had any idea that the boat, just moments away from departure, had 6 critical design and operational flaws that would soon make it a part of one of the worst disasters in history. In today's video, you'll learn about 6 fatal mistakes behind the downfall of the most luxurious and costly ship of its time, the Titanic. Had these errors not occurred, the Titanic might have been famous for its success, not its tragedy. Mistake number 1. Titanic set sail at exactly 12 noon. Captain Edward Smith, despite having 40 years of experience, was under strict orders to reach New York by April 17th, within 7 days. To meet the deadline, the captain kept the ship at very high speed from the start. This was the first and crucial mistake. Every machine, vehicle, or vessel has certain operating protocols, and speed limits are one of them. Ignoring this protocol from the beginning violated a key safety rule. Mistake number 2. 3 days into the journey, on April 14th, 1962, the weather over the sea turned foggy and visibility became poor. A ship sailing ahead of the Titanic had sent at least 6 iceberg warnings via wireless. However, due to negligence from the communication operators on Titanic, these warnings were missed. The crew dismissed these messages, assuming it was routine. This was the second major error. Mistake number 3. Despite high speed and missed warnings, the ship could still have been saved. The lookouts were alert, but they didn't have binoculars. They failed to spot the iceberg in time. This lack of binoculars was the third big mistake. By the time the iceberg was spotted, the size of a football field, it was too late. Mistake number 4. Captain Smith ordered the engines to be stopped and tried to steer the ship away from the iceberg. However, the distance was too short to avoid impact. The ship struck the iceberg in the center, but there was still hope. If the rivets holding the ship's body together had been made of steel, it might have survived. Unfortunately, they were made of cast iron, which is weaker. The pressure caused the rivets to pop open, leading to the ship taking on water. This was the 4th major mistake. Mistake number 5. Water began flooding the lower parts of the ship. The Titanic was designed to stay afloat, even if 3 of its compartments were flooded. But the water crossed into the 4th compartment. Now the ship was doomed. Captain Smith sent out an emergency alert via radio. Passengers were to be evacuated using lifeboats. However, the ship only had 20 lifeboats, even though it had space for 32, and 1,500 passengers on board. This shortage of lifeboats was the 5th fatal flaw. Mistake number 6. Panic broke out. At 12:45 a.m., the first lifeboat was lowered into the ocean, but many were sent off half empty. Priority was given to first-class passengers, meaning the wealthiest were evacuated first. Had the boats been fully loaded, Many more lives could have been saved. At 2:18 a.m., the ship's lights went out due to a short circuit. Moments later, the Titanic broke into two and sank completely in just 2 hours and 40 minutes. Over 1,500 people perished in the icy waters of the Atlantic Ocean. The water temperature was -2 degrees Celsius, making survival for more than 30 minutes nearly impossible. It is said that the actual death toll was even higher, as many people boarded without tickets. Most of the survivors were women and children. Captain Smith spent his final hours helping passengers escape and was the last person to jump from the sinking ship. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and comment with your thoughts. See you in the next amazing video.